into this look, but I want you to know today was a cold day. Your girl got that moo on, that quarter length sleeve, making sure she is nice, warm, and toasty. But we're going to jump right into this look. I've already sort of blocked out my brows and done the lay for my lids. I'm just taking a little bit of my Huda Beauty in Blondie, making sure that nothing really moves. I'm going back in and kind of color that in gold. You'll see that later in the video. But right now I'm just making sure that everything doesn't move because we're going to do a little bit of a creative look today. We're doing a reverse cut crease. Yes, normally for a gradient or a blended cut crease, we would put the darker shades on the outer third or outer corner of the eye. Today we are putting them in the inner, and then we're going to gradually transition out to the darkest to the lightest, from the darkest to the lightest rather. And I'm just packing in that dark brown shade. I've used the Juvia's Place Warrior palette for that. And I didn't really film the eye look because I feel like you guys already seen that so much. And besides, in this particular look, I changed it to match the hibiscus flowers I'm gonna be adding on my face later. And if you want a full face routine in detail, you can definitely check out the other videos on my channel to see what that is about, because girl, it is there. I'm taking my favorite combo of foundations from Maybelline, the Fit Me, taking the 330 and the 322, mix them together to get the perfect match for my skin tone. And it's been working lovely for me as of lately. Is like my new combo. Love it so much. I've been using it for a while, but yeah. I'm taking a little bit of my color corrector and a white primer, and I'm brightening up the face. The reason why is because I'm using so much of a dark color. I want to make sure that it pops and gives a nice contrast. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I chose to do it. And the only bad thing about me doing this particular look, as you can see right now, I have a somewhat of a sunken under eye, and it's hereditary, girl, but we're gonna get it fixed later. But right now it kind of shows a little bit, like it's very pronounced because you're brightening the under eye area, but you don't have to worry about it. Well, I didn't worry about it, but the reason why is because I'm going back in with that translucent powder, or the setting powder that we used earlier, and I'm making sure to kind of cover it, and it gives it somewhat of a more natural tone. But I do want to kind of contrast to make the eyes pop a little bit more. So that's the reason why I chose to brighten underneath the eyes, but it tones down once I put the setting powder on top, because the setting powder is close to my skin tone and gives me a nice blended look, as you will see later on in the video. So we're going to blend that out nicely with our Beauty Blender sponge and blend, 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 blend. Do not be afraid to go back over as much as needed and make sure that everything is nice, evenly smooth and distributed. Going over the highlight points of my face, the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, my forehead, upper lip, and chin. And we're going to blend those things as well. After all of that is done, I'm taking that setting powder in Blondie, the one we used earlier, and as you can see, it kind of toned it down just a little bit and made it more of my skin tone color, and still kept the brightness of what I was looking for, to kind of make everything kind of contrast, but yet not too abstract from one another, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of still goes together, and that's what I love about doing my makeup in the signature way that I do. I could wear contrast looks, but I wanted to be able to be somewhat wearable for every day and not make you feel crazy because you want to try something different. Like, you can definitely wear whatever you want to wear. It's just how you position it, how you tone it, the rest of your face, to make it kind of work for you, if that somewhat makes sense for the newbies. I'm going to bronze and contour my face. Right now I'm using the contour to kind of deepen the areas that I want. And again, that was part of the reason why I used the brightening color corrector and the white to kind of brighten my under eye, because I knew I was going to go in and make this a fall look. I needed a fall look. So the darker browns, the warmer tones, all blending together, kind of giving me that aesthetic fall feel that we all love and know. You know, the pumpkin spice feel comes from the browns and oranges, babe, and I wanted to use it to really, really give me that nostalgic feel for this look. and I'm just going in and contouring everything. After that, I'm using a blush. Yes. Well, it's an eyeshadow, but I'm using it as a blush today, and that is from the Honey Quad from Juvia's Place. Most of the products that I've used today are from Juvia's Place, so all of that will be in the description box below. Taking that with the fluffy brush that I used from earlier to kind of set my lid, and just going in and blushing everything out. I am not a blush girly, okay? I'm really not. However, I wanted to definitely add depth and warmth to my face, because once I add those flowers, it just kind of transitions and give more a pronounced look to the flowers, and still kind of make everything coherse together. Like, it's not so abstract. Again, my signature move is, if I'm going to do something crazy, I still needed to kind of tell the story throughout the face, not just in one particular spot. I want it to all go together, the look go together and blend together. So once everything is set to my liking, I'm taking a finishing powder, or my foundation color. I want to say this is the Cashew by Estee Lauder. And I'm taking a fluffy foundation brush and just wiping everything off, any excess powder that I have. And then, of course, we're going to go in and spray and mist what we need to do to make sure that everything is nice and in place, so the chalky look won't be there once everything is done. And right now I'm taking that same brush that we use for the blush and kind of contouring my nose. And I know people are like, well, it's kind of orange. Trust me, it works together. I promise you it's going to work together. We're going to take it, go towards the bridge of the nose, making a nice line. I use a fluffy brush because it blends it out already. And I'm taking it towards the brow bone, and again down the bridge or the sides of my nose as much as I need. And the tip, I don't really mess with too much, but yeah, we want everything to blend together. I want my contour to be noticeable, but not the first thing that I see. So here's a tip I've done for my hibiscus flowers. This is the second time me doing that, and it's hard for me to do it on my left side versus my right. I don't know why, but it just is. It's hard for me to do it. But what I've done, I've mapped it out on how big I wanted my flowers to be on the side of my face by adding dots, kind of mapping it out on how I want the tips of the petals to, how far I want the tips of the petals to reach. So once I measured that out, I just go in and create the petals. I'm using as you can see, the Glam Vice face paint, the Galaxy palette, in that orange. And even though it's a darker orange from the original orange I wanted to use, it was still a little bright in person versus being on camera. And again, I wanted everything to kind of match and be reminiscent of fall. So that's why I kind of go in later and shade that and tone it down, but you'll see that later on in the video. A tip for this particular thing, I'm using a wider bristle brush to kind of give me, as you can see, give me a full coverage paint on what I kind of want to fill in the flowers with. And you can use nice even strokes with a larger brush and still have control of the shaping of the petals or the flower itself. And I'm using that to kind of guide along the gap. Like, I've given myself space to create gaps in between to make the flower look more realistic. And I go in and touch up as much as I need to, but I just take my time with it. If you are not used to doing it, it might take a little while, but that's the part of growth, or the progress of growth. I mean, practice makes perfect. So you gotta keep practicing in order to get it to where you like it. And again, it's my second time using it, and I love me doing that flower. I don't know why. I haven't tried doing that flower before, but I love doing it. I ended up seeing somebody doing it first, and I just saw it and I was like, yeah, I gotta try it. And ever since then, I've been hooked on that one particular flower. Like, I've never tried a rose on the side of my face. I don't know what it is about the hibiscus flower. It's a really pretty flower for me. I'm going in, making sure that everything is shaded, evenly distributed with the paint. You can definitely go in, make sure that the paint is somewhat thick, if that makes sense to you guys. Not very watery, not very thin, because it gives you fuller coverage when the paint is a little bit thicker. So let it set for maybe a couple of seconds, or really mix it well in order to get a nice consistency. And you could get a fuller coverage. As you can see, you don't have to go over so many times in order to get the coverage that you want with this paint. But that's pretty much it. Just taking my time, making sure that everything is nice and even to my liking, matching the other flower, checking back and forth. I wish I would have put a little bit more space between those two petals for the flower. But yeah, that's pretty much the look. And I finish it now with going in with the Galaxy palette in gold. And I filled in my brows, or reshaped my brows to make sure that they stand out. And I also trimmed or traced around the flower to kind of give it a more pronounced and defined look. Now I'm going in and shading with the Quad Juvia's Place Honey palette, the one from earlier, and just giving it more of a fall aesthetic look. And I love it because it gives more depth to the flower to make it look more realistic. And at the same time, it just matches what I wanted to match. And again, I'm glad I kind of did this look, because I don't really get to do looks like this that often. Well, I could do it as often as I want, but I just wanted to try something different for fall, because I know everybody does these simple tonal looks for fall, or every day, believe it or not, for makeup. They'll use that nice light brown shadow to make sure that they get that nice smoky eye all over the eye, and just want to do something very basic and very light. But I want people to be reintroduced to colors. You can have fun with colors. It could be wearable, and you just have to be, comfortable and bold in wearing it. And I know that's not everybody's take, because everybody wants to be safe, but honey, the world of colors is waiting for you. Do not be afraid. I'm going in and finishing the look, and I'll be back. Hey babies, this is the final look. I want you to kind of see. I had to change up the scheme a little bit because I did want it to match the sides, and I don't know why, but my brain didn't understand the orange would be very summer versus fall. Even though I went with another palette, I went with the color gallery. I'm gonna have it listed below. Y'all know how this works. But this is pretty much the final look. And I went back in with gold to kind of accent and give more definition to the petals themselves. And I went over my brows again with the gold because I feel like the black was just still too black. I could kind of deal with this. It's a little bit better in person. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I don't know, it worked a little bit better in person. Maybe I should have just blocked them, but I can't find my glue stick to really block them down. Anyway, this is pretty much the final look. Hopefully you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check out my other videos on the channel, because there's more videos like this, okay? But this is pretty much it, and I wanted to do something different, so that's why I went with a reverse gradient cut crease versus the traditional blended gradient cut crease, because I was like, I want to switch it up just a bit, just a tad bit, and the colors worked out really, really good. I ended up switching it just a little bit more because I wanted to make it match the flowers a little bit more, and I went back in, as you've seen, and touched up the sides. But that's pretty much it. Check you babies later.